Everybody wants to have a beautiful, healthy baby, naturally. And when I was a midwife, I got the most joy I got out of all my nursing career, I think, was in the delivering beautiful, healthy babies. And that was a long time ago. And while we did have a few suspected problems with some children, and some very obvious signs of deformities, they were indeed very few and far between. I suppose one of the things that really, now that I have gone years later and see what's happening in the world, one of the things that I can look back on, and I can say that occasionally, I'd say about 4 times in all, there was questions around the sex of the child. And doctors used to refer to this as a hermaphrodite. And the baby was just identified as the nearest sex, be that a boy or a girl, and sent on their jolly way home. Of course, after that, I never saw what happened to the child or their lives, or the lifestyle or the mental state of that child. But now that I'm more educated and that I have gone into research in environmental and nutritional science, I now know the destructive damage that everyday chemicals in the home can cause that baby. And we see today in the world, we have in Ireland this massive hospital that costs something like now coming up to about $1 billion or something crazy. Building these hospitals, and they're built right beside, the new maternity hospital. So babies that do survive are taken from the maternity hospital and brought straight into the children's hospital, which shouldn't be. We should have children that are healthy and go home and live healthy lives and grow up to be healthy, productive adults and live and enjoy life. Anyway, the other thing I suppose that we see in the world today that that is very disturbing is the law on abortion, that children are aborted, before they're aborted, up to whatever age it is, they say 12 weeks or whatever, when the deformity is noticed. Or in some countries, they actually can be, destroyed up to and before birth itself, So we now know that we cannot allow this to go on. But unfortunately, we cannot change people. People must change themselves. And if people want healthy babies, they have to become educated. First of all, they have to educate themselves, because if you haven't got a healthy mother and a healthy father, well, chances are you're not going to have a healthy baby. But if you have a mother and a father that realise that the most important time to look after their child is in the womb, then they will go out and they will find answers. And I suppose the wonderful thing about life today is, when I was working as a midwife, there really weren't answers. Whereas now we're coming to a stage where, the only way we can move forward and, move away from all the destructive elements that affect, the unborn child, we now can do it. We can do that through the science of health and wellness. And that is identifying environmental chemicals in the home. We can't do anything about the chemicals that are outside, that are being made in factories and everything, but we can turn to scientists that are now producing brands that are environmentally safe, and they can be used safely and not affect the baby, and safeguard the baby, and also nutritional medicine. So if my video stops now, I make a second one. But anyway, I'm going to move away from there and just show you that, here is a picture. I put a video on there a few minutes ago, and it was, to show the baby in the uterus as it's growing, scratching its eyes and having a yawn and wiping away any irritation from the eye. Our babies that are unborn, they can see, they can smell, they can touch, they can feel, they're aware of what's going on. There is very little between them and the outside world. So the outside world, we bring the outside world into them, and our environment goes into their environment. So this picture here shows the placenta that the that the umbilical cord is attached to. And the mother's blood, that is very, very vascular. There's a lot of blood vessels there. And that placenta is directly connected to the mother's blood. Now, when I was nursing and when I was being educated, we were told that the placenta was a barrier. That is not true. The placenta is not a barrier. It soaks up everything that the mother takes on board. So we have the placenta, the umbilical cord, and along with nutrients, toxins in the mother's system, they may be delivered directly into the fetus through the umbilical cord, but that umbilical cord that's attached to the placenta, the very vascular placenta.